Simple. Okay. All right. So, what are some things we could bring on? Some ways to help, some background research that we could do to help the kids learn about ants. They're fascinated.
Yeah, they are, because they're very wise.
What would they?
How do they carry food?
But what things?
Ant farm?
Oh gosh, what perfect example. An ant farm, right?
An ant farm.
Ant farm is perfect. Okay, what else? Have you guys seen the models, like the enlarged models of ants? Yeah, they're like from a science store. You could get like a bigger model of an ant that'd be about that big, and the kids could put it at the drawing table. They could actually draw on ants. Are there books on ants?
Yes.
Tons of books on ants, right? Yeah. Could we enlarge photographs of ants? Pretty simple to go on the internet, print out some big photographs of ants on just 8 by 11 sheet of paper like Najwa did, and put it in a just a plastic protector. Okay. We could go on YouTube and show them videos of ants, right?
Yeah.
So we could do a lot of things like to pique their interest about ants. That's background research. So now we've got our question. How do ants talk to each other? And maybe we sit down with the kids, we brainstorm this process, and the kids say, I know, teacher, I think when the ants are wiggling their butts, they're talking. All right? They're communicating through movement. And so that's what we know the guess is, right? Because we can use our advanced language to say, oh, that's a very good guess, Rochelle. When they're wiggling their butts, that's communication through movement, right? We write it down, right? So now we're going to work with the kids and have them design some kind of experiment where they can test their hypothesis. Oh, gosh, what could they do to test that hypothesis? How could you test that?
Like she said, make an ant, bring in an aquarium, and actually you can make ants, ant house.
Okay.
With sand. Is it sand that they use or dirt?
Yeah.
And go get some ants.
Underneath, it looks like sand.
It looks from ants.
Go get some dirt and watch them make their trails. And start writing down the data and the observation.
All right, so exactly, we could watch. There we go. We're right side up now. We could have them watch the ants, build the ant farms, and build the tunnels, right? And ask them every day in their journals to draw pictures of the tunnels that they're building to see if they're communicating to each other enough that they can build effective tunnels. Now, part of that is, do you guys know, how do ants communicate? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Any idea? Is it through movement?
I don't think so.
Probably so.
I never heard of ants squeal.
Because they do walk in a single line.
They actually communicate through electricity. We think.
How?
Electricity, electromagnetic pulses that go from their body with the antenna from one to the next. So we would have to do some research, right, to figure out what the answer is. But we could come back to the kids then when the kids were talking about their data, and we could say, well, what did you guys decide after doing all this journaling and looking at, maybe the kids say yes, they're communicating through movement. And then as the teacher, because we have more knowledge, we could come back and say, you know what, I went on YouTube and we weren't right. They don't communicate through movement, it's through electricity. So what did we learn from this?
No, I've noticed it seems like it works better with smaller groups than to get all of them. I mean, they're
absolutely.
all excited to join.
They are.
But then it gets too out of control.
I think part of it is too, like, one of the challenges you guys have is you're coming in, you're doing this, and it's new, and it's fun, and it's exciting. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I want you to think about this. When you were doing this in the classroom all the time, you would be able to communicate, you're going to get your turn.
Right.
I'm going to work with this group of interested kids, and then we're going to do another one with another group of interested kids. So once they had a sense that, so I think sometimes kids get really nervous that they're going to miss out.
Right.
You're going to do something great and fun, and then you're going to be gone, and they're going to miss that learning opportunity, and they don't want to miss out on it. But if they really had faith that you were the classroom teacher and this was going to keep happening, and this is the process by how they learned, they would be more relaxed about working in the small groups.
Yeah, I told them today, because they were excited about the steering wheel, that I'm going to bring it back, and it's going to stay there for the whole week, and we're going to bring lots of fun things. And
good.
I told them Miss Najwa was going to big school like Miss Audrey. What am I going to do?
All right, come down here, you guys. I want to go back to your, okay, so we did step 2, the background research. Now, as a group and as individual children make predictions about a question, the group records a variety of responses, often shown on a chart. Individual journals. Now, this is an important part. You guys are going to need to come up with individual journals for the children.
That's what I was going to ask you about, that individual journal.
So you can either do it by just taking a couple sheets of paper and stapling it together. Johnny's Johnny's project journal,
Okay.
which is a good place to start. But think about how powerful this would be if it was really in your classroom and every kid had a notebook for the whole. I mean, you can get it for 22 cents.
Yeah, a lot of them. But I mean, is this ongoing throughout the year for every project? Because I didn't know if you're sending this, because it would be a nice keepsake to give at the end of the year what they've done and what the responses and quotes and stuff like that.
And I think that's a question, Najwa, you're going to have to answer for yourself. I mean, if this really becomes a way of teaching, why would you not have a journal?
And she can divide it.
Right.
You can divide it from this month to this month.
My kids have a journal that they write in the summer, and I just buy one of those little
the spiral notebooks.
Not a spiral notebook, the smaller ones that you guys use for composition books.
Oh, composition books.
I buy a composition book, and we close it up at the end of the summer and throw it in their memory box. But what a great memento, of the writing that they've done. And those are simple and cheap. Like I said, with the back to school sales are 19 cents or something ridiculous like that. So getting the kids in the process of kind of thinking about their learning, and we should be doing this. We should be journaling in our personal life about our failures, about our successes. I mean, really effective people are writing, they're writing about where they're at and what's happening in their life. Okay,
so just explain a little bit about the journal thing. Like when we're introducing,
okay,
now we're using it
let's finish this, and I'm going to take you through a detailed example from start to finish. Okay, and then we'll flesh out all the questions. Okay, so all right, to me the hardest part of this whole process is designing the experiment. Okay, having the kids, they've made this. They're asking this question. Okay, like how do ants communicate, right? Then you have them make a prediction. Well, maybe ants communicate through movement, but then you have to design an experiment. And what was wrong with our whole hypothesis that ants communicate through movement? What was wrong with that whole process? Do you think?
Right.
It wasn't right. But if you think about our experiment with the ants and the tunnels, how did the ants in the tunnels really tell us about communication?
You said through their paws and through their electricity.
But my point is the experiment itself didn't really answer the question.
Didn't answer the question, but it gave them exposure to other things.
That's right. So this process is not. Sometimes we like things that are really neat and clean.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Kids
It's
like
A, B, C, D. A equals B, and then B equals C, so A and C are equal. Because we like that. It's linear. But remember what Sir Ken Robinson said. Creative people are divergent thinkers. Solutions are here, they're kind of all over the place. That's the process of being creative. And it's a little bit messy and it's not perfect. And we have to let that happen.
And I wish all the teachers would hear that.
I do. I know, and I know that it's. I know it's hard, but listen.
Sticky glue.
Okay, so once they've conducted their they make their guess, right? Then they're going to make an experiment. Now listen, this is really important. Under 4, it says, as a group, the class brainstorms an experiment that will help them answer their own question. This is not you designing an experiment. It's not you coming up with the answer. It's the kids. Maybe your kids decide that they want to test what makes a faster Matchbox car. Is it cars that are lighter or cars that are heavier? How can we test that? Ask them.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Maybe they have to. Maybe they come up with, well, let's weigh the cars. Get a little scale, you weigh the cars, and they say, well, maybe we have to race the cars. Maybe take the cars out and you have car races with them. But the point is, it's not you, Najwa, saying, first, we're going to weigh the cars. Place the car A on the scale. Place car B on the scale. Put the car down the ramp. The kids go, woo! The car goes down the ramp. Remember our teacher that we were just watching with our ice cubes?
Right.
Put the ice cube in the red cup. Put the ice cube in the blue cup. Put the blue in the red and the red finger in that. Okay, now what did you learn? Put ice in your soda when it's hot, warm. Very good. We do that all day, man, all day long. We get so do this, do that, and they,
direct,
right? And they can't.
Oh my God!
They can't think of an idea on their own. Now they're little, okay? They're little. They have to have the opportunity to make mistakes.
Do you know what my 23-year-old told me yesterday? Mom, I wish I had all of this when I was growing up. I don't remember none of this when I was growing up.
Right.
Honestly, for a 23-year-old to recognize
absolutely,
it.
Absolutely.
He goes, they're making you do all of this for early childhood. He goes, now I look at it completely different.
Listen,
I was so shocked when
I
you
taught
told me
high
that.
school. Okay, that's where I got started. I taught 3 years of high school. And this process of creativity and problem solving is how I was an effective high school teacher. It's how I'm an effective college instructor. So early childhood, what's great about it is it recognizes the importance of the process of being creative and open-ended and open-minded. But even in early childhood, a lot of teachers are missing the boat.
Yes, they are.
But I mean, a lot of people are missing.
Oh
the
my
boat.
gosh, for sure. Yeah, for
A
sure.
lot of people, and it's so like, oh my God, wherever I go, early childhood, really? Why? You know, it's like they don't get it.
No, they don't. They don't. But it. Okay, so let's keep going. All right. So number 5, and here's this part that people really don't do. Okay, number 5, we have this question, we make a guess, we do a great experiment. Then, like with the whole weight loss thing, right? We try this diet, it doesn't work, and then we just say, oh, that didn't work. That was stupid, and we move on, right? But do we really stop and think about what happened? Do we think about whether we did it right, or how we felt, or whether we were supported by our family? Do we really think about what happened, or do we just move on? We just move on. A lot of times we don't analyze. We don't think about what happened. We don't think about.
You're so right, though. That's so good.
We don't think about it. Okay, so it says once the experiment is concluded, the children work as a group to draw the conclusion. They return to their original question and their hypothesis, and they ask, were we correct? What did we learn? What else would we like to learn? And a lot of times the answer is no, we're not correct. But that's okay. You know, a big thing is you have to teach kids how to fail.
Yes.
And not to be scared of it. And to
Right.
kind of embrace it.
It should be exciting.
Yes.
Oh, we got to start all over again.
Right. Listen, I fall on my face
I have the same.
all the time. All the time fall on my face. But that is an important part of the process of being creative and being thoughtful. You got to take risks. You got to try new stuff. You got to work it out. You know? Okay. And then group number 6, communicate results. Share your learning with others. Okay, so now here's another thing we don't do. Once we learn some stuff, even if we didn't learn the right thing, we don't